Standing tall by faith, I watch my spirit grow, reaching for the lost souls wandering far below. God's holy breath, a sacred mighty gust, lifts me from the ashes, raises me from dust. Eagles soaring high, high up in the sky, flying straight and true, riding to victory. His promise is the power that makes the darkness flee. Eagles soaring high for all the world to see. His anointing falls, it destroys the yoke. Every chain is shattered with the word he spoke. The captives now are free. Rising up with me, soaring high into victory. Flying high and free. Soaring high into victory. Flying high and free. Standing tall by faith, I watch my spirit grow, reaching for the lost souls wandering far below. God's holy breath, a sacred mighty gust, lifts me from the ashes, raises me from dust. Eagles soaring high, high up in the sky, flying straight and true, riding to victory. His promise is the power that makes the darkness flee. Eagles soaring high for all the world to see. His anointing falls, it destroys the yoke. Every chain is shattered with the word he spoke. The captives now are free. Rising up with me, soaring high into victory. Flying high and free. Soaring high into victory. Flying high and free.
Welcome. This is Vandross Nest Podcast. I am your host, Minister A. Williams, aka Eagles, soaring high. And we are back with another video. On last week, we remembering Luther Vandross. We were honoring and celebrating the late legend Luther Vandross. And so this week we're going to continue with Luther Vandross, remembering Luther Vandross, the man whose voice tells a story. From the power of love. I want to remind you all to like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of my channels. Eagle Soaring High, Channel 1, Eagle Soaring High, Channel 2, Fireside Chat with Eagle, and Purple Community Royal Priesthood. Hit the like button as you come in or as you go out. Tap that like button I'll appreciate it. It'll keep me in the algorithm. I also want you to take a few moments to put in the comment section your favorite Luther Vandross song. I don't care if it's one, if it's two, I don't care if it's a list of songs. Just put in the comments section. Put them in the comments section and help me to celebrate and honor and remember this great singer. This singer who is a master at what he's done, what he does. He's gifted and talented. We are remembering and honoring and celebrating the life of the legendary Luther Vandross, the man whose voice tells the story from the power of love. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of my channels. Eagles on High, Channel 1, Eagles on High, Channel 2, Fireside Chat with the Eagles, and Purple Community, Roy Priesthood. And if you will, if you have not seen the where I sit with two guests and we have a conversation about Whitney Houston. If you have not seen that, go back, check that live out as well. The premiere of celebrating Whitney Houston. Well, we're going to get ready to start and soar right into this video. Again, this is Eagles Nest podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit the like button as you come in or as you come out. Welcome to all of you that's going to join in the chat, you that's going to be in the clouds, you that's going to be in the bushes. Welcome into the nest as we sit around the nest and the fireside and have a fireside chat. God bless you. We will be right back to die video. Stay with me. We will be right back. Right after this 30. I don't know what is going on. We're going to take another 30. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. I definitely again want to welcome you all into the nest on today. Again, this is the Eagles Nest podcast, and we are back again with part two of Remembering Luther, Power of Love, part two. Goodness, everything is having a delay. But we are back with part two to continue on with remembering and honoring and celebrating the life of the legendary and the late and the great Luther Vandross. What can I say even more about this man who seemed overcome all obstacles in his life? He is an inspiration to all that has encountered him. From my perception and what I have seen of this brother is that he's humble, very humble, and he appreciates life. But like so many of us, we have some form of storms and troubles and obstacles. But even in the midst of what he was going through, it never, ever showed in his performance. He was very professional and had a spirit of excellence. A man that wrote songs that told of his some that told of his this man had a voice that was smooth, very smooth, like chocolate. And you could get what I consider to be a taste of his life. This man could sing songs of love, but he could also sing songs that were full of pain, hurt, and discouragement. He longed to be in a relationship, but couldn't find love. I remember him telling how he found himself attracted to one of his friends, Cheryl Lynn. but she didn't feel the same way. And it is just amazing that a man that didn't have love another person could sing love in such a way that you felt like he had found the very one that he had been seeking for. He sang love songs and love ballads so eloquently and so precise, and told the story and made it so clear that you would have thought that he had found the very one, that woman that he loved. Now, no one can really prove, because he kept his private life out of the the camera's view, out of the public's eye. And it made you question whether he had found love and had lost it at some point. But no one knows, because his life was private. But yet he could sing that song as if the person was standing right there in the audience. His tone was so smooth and vibrant. And the way he told a story through song was mind blowing. Yes, he did love ballads, but he also had some songs that were heartbreaking. Such as your, your secret love. Song talk about a secret. You knew that he had been hurt and had experienced hurt, because he did a song called Don't Want to Be a Fool. It's very interesting. And I just believe that if he had decided to do some nursery rhymes and do the alphabet, it would still be a hit song, because of his skills and his mastery of how he arranged a song. It was so powerful that it would move people in different ways. Yes, he was a legend, in his own right. He believed in perfection, doing things in a perfect way, a excellent way. And if it was not done that way, he did it until that performance to be. His outfits, his clothes were so elegant. Everything matched and was put in its perfect place. He was a sharp dresser, a classy dress. And through everything he had encountered, he overcame it. One of the things that I just believe that Luther Vandross believed in was love. Through song, love. And it was just one of the greatest things that he could put out there. Oftentimes, when I've had a long day, a long, dreary day, and I'm exhausted, I often would put on or start out with Whitney Houston, and then move right into Luther Vandross. I was just listening to some songs of his, and I was listening to his rendition of All Well, Whitney Houston entitled it All the Man That I Need. But Luther entitled the song All the Woman I Need. And I was listening to his version of it. And I was speechless by it because I love both versions, Whitney Houston's version and version. He did it similar to her version, but he added a little something to it. And my mind was just blown. He was a master at taking other folks' songs and making them better. It's just amazing at what he could do with a song. I want to know very quickly from part one, did you all find out or learn some things about him that you did not know before you saw this video? I found out a lot of things about him in my research for these, this video. And he wore many, many hats. And what he did in an excellent way. I love, and there's not many albums, CDs heard from a lot of artists where I love every song on that album. He did an album song where he did other people's songs, other artists' songs as a tribute to them. He did Lionel Richie's song "Hello." He did a song that I believe Barbara Streisand had did called "Evergreen." He did a Diana Ross and Supreme song "Reflections." So many great songs that make you want to dance, make you want to sing. And I don't know about nobody else, but even my little self, to mimic Luther Vandross. And it ain't nothing close to it. But I love his voice, and I've tried to mimic that voice, that sound. Luther inspires people so to the point to where those of us that really can't sing and really can't hold a note can be in the privacy of their own home and just sing his songs. What a great and amazing man. He was a songwriter, a producer, the most wanted person to sing background vocals. And then they added to his repertoire, acting. And I got to say that he wasn't a bad actor. He was actually pretty good. He was actually pretty good. And I've got to go back and find, because I didn't see the season finale of 227. And I shared with you all in the first video that he did the last episode, the final episode, the season finale episode of 227. And I've not seen that episode. And I was a huge fan of 227. So I might have seen it and I might not have. But I'm going to try to find that episode, that last episode of 227 that he guest starred on, that he appeared in. Well, let me stop talking and let's just do his history, the legacy that he left. And it was a great, and with that legacy, it still lives. Before before I I dive back into the information that I found on him, I remember he was being interviewed and he began to speak about that saw him in the mall. She was going up the escalator as he was going down. And in his recollection, the incident, he says the woman spoke to him. And she must not have heard him speak back. So she got off the escalator and went and got on the escalator that was going down. And he said that when she came down, she felt like he had ignored her. And after she finished giving him a piece of her mind, she began to talk about how she was one of his biggest fans. She had insulted him. From his perspective, he felt insulted by the young lady. And I remember him saying that he asked her how many of his albums did she have and how much did she pay for them. And her response was that she had all of his albums and she told him how much she had paid. And he says that he reached into his pockets, pulled out his wallet, and paid her for every album she had bought. And then told her to please not buy. Don't buy another album or CD, rather, of his. And I found that to be interesting because even in the midst of that, there was a calmness about him. So I can only imagine that the way he spoke to her was the way he responded to her. And he was calm. He wasn't angry about it. He kind of giggled and laughed about it. And I was like, wow. I was shocked. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So moving on, we're going to get ready. So right back into the information that I have about him. And then I'm going to let you go. All right. All right. And let me say this. I had mad respect for him. Mad respect for him handling the situation in which he handled it. Now let's get back into the information that I have. And he is still a legend. And he is still an amazing and was and still is, though he is gone on and made his transition, I still have respect for him. And I still respect the man, not even knowing him, not even met him or had a chance to even be at one of his concerts. I still honor, celebrate this legend. Not for the situations and the circumstances. His gift God blessed him with, and he shared it with the world. All right. I'm going to rewind a little bit and start where I've shared a little bit of the information in part one. I'm going to pick up there and continue on. In September 2001, Luther performed a rendition of Michael Jackson's hit song, Man in the Mirror, at Jackson's 30th anniversary special, alongside with Usher and 98 Degrees. In the spring of 2003, Vandross' last collaboration was on Doc Powell's song. I believe he wrote for Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, a cover of Marvin Gaye's seminal 1971 original from Powell's album 97, and Columbus was the album that Doc Powell had. The album was 97 and Columbus. In 2002, Luther Vandross called Touched by an Angel. He guest starred on there, on Touched by an Angel. He was in season 8. If you want to go and see that episode, I'm sure you can on any streaming app, or even come to YouTube and find the episode. So he guest starred on Touched by an Angel. He was in season 8, episode 20, titled The Impossible Dream, which aired on May 4th, 2002. He played the brother of the guy that, I don't know if you all seen a show called Alias. The guy, he played his brother, Joe Morton. He played Joe Morton's brother in this episode. And not only was he there, but he did in the episode. I believe the song was The Impossible Dream. I believe that was the song in that episode. In 2003, Luther Vandross released the album Dance with My Father. How many of you remember that album? That was one of the greatest albums that he did. Dance with My Father. And the song Dance with My Father, well, it was a reflection on his life, Luther Vandross' life as a child. and spending time with his father and dancing with his father before his father made his transition. And I believe that during this time and period in Luther Vandross' life, he was starting to experience a lot of the heartbreak of losing his father, and some other things that had been going on. But that's what that song Dance with My Father was about, was his relationship and his memories about how his mother, Mary Ida, would to have her husband back, and how she longed just for another moment, just to dance with him. It was such a beautiful song. So that album came out in 2003. Luther Vandross released the album Dance with My Father. So 442,000 copies in the first week. My God, my God. Let me say that again. It sold 440,000 copies in the first week. In the first week of that is amazing. That in the first week of this CD coming out, he sold that many copies. 442,000 first week. Somebody give God some praise for that. Somebody applaud this legendary man for that. 442,000 copies in the first week. Mm, mm, mm. In the first week. And not only did he sell 442,000 copies in the first week, but it debuted it at number one on the Billboard 200 album chart, becoming his first album in his career to do so. Yes. The title track would the title track, which was dedicated to Vandross' childhood memory of dancing with his father, Vandross, and his co-writer. Now watch this. Now I did not know this about the song. Luther Vandross wrote the song, but he co-wrote the song with Richard Marx, another artist, another singer. One Vandross and his co-writer, Richard Marx, the 2004 Grammy Award for Song of the Year. Let that marinate in you just for a few moments. It won him a Grammy for Song of the Year. How awesome that is. Somebody ought to clap your hands for that. Mhm. So it won him a Grammy Award for Song of the Year. The song also won Luther his fourth and final award in the Best Male R&B Vocal Performance category. Yes, you can't tell me that this man was not a master and a genius. God Almighty. There, there. The song also won Luther his fourth and final award, Best Male R&B Vocal Performance category. The album was his only career number one on the Billboard album chart. It was the only album that made number one on the Billboard's albums chart. Wow. That is amazing. I don't know why there is such a delay with the applause and all of this, but that's okay. All right, where did I leave off? The album was his only career number one on the Billboard album chart. The video, which was very good, I liked the video. It's a father's video. If you all have not seen that, take a few moments to look it up on YouTube so that you can see how great of a video it was. And it was really a great tribute, in my perspective, one of the greatest videos, other than Take You Out um, video, where he was with Gabrielle Union, I believe, was the young lady that was in. No, it wasn't Gabrielle Union. It was Garcelle Bouer, the young lady from Jamie Foxx. She starred in the Take You Out. Can I take you out tonight? That song, to the movies, to the park. Let me not do that. But those were um, the two that I can think of my head of the videos that I really liked. There were some others. Don't Want to Be a Fool was a good one. Your Secret Love video was a good one. But if you have not seen the Dance with Your Father official video, look it up by Luther Vandross. The video of the title track featured various celebrities alongside their fathers and other family members. The second single released from the album, that song. all have not heard the dance with your father CD, you all need to get it. It was one of the best CDs that he did. He collaborated with Foxy Brown, I believe. Foxy Brown he collabed with on that album. Uh, Beyonce he collabed with her on that album. They did The Closer I Get to You. It was just a good CD. You all, if you all have not heard it, just check it out. You ain't even got to go by and look it up on YouTube. Luther Vandross full albums, and you can find um, the full album uh, on YouTube. The second single released from the was "Think About You," was not on the urban adult contemporary song of 2004, according to Radio and Records. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It was number one on the urban adult contemporary song of 2004, according to Radio and Records. In 2003, after the televised NCAA men's basketball championship, which aired on CBS Sports, gave one shining moment. Look, Vandross, who had been to only one basketball game in his life, was the new singer, and the video had none of the special effects like glowing basketballs and stars, trails. That video from previous, like the video from previous years. The song version is in use today. Luther Vandross suffered with diabetes. This is where his story becomes heartbreaking and this is where his story becomes sad and heartbreaking. And I know that over the years, because Luther Vandross talked about it, about how he tried to manage being healthy and how he was at a point where he had gotten things under control and in life that which had found residence within his body began to take effect on him. And this was one of the reasons why he struggled to maintain weight loss. He began to talk. I remember him talking about how he would lose the weight, but he would gain it back. He would lose and gain it back. A struggle for him. It became an obstacle in his life. But even with that, he still gave the most. Let me go on. Luther Vandross suffered with diabetes and hypertension. On April 16, 2003, 4 days before his birthday, Luther Vandross had a severe stroke. A severe stroke at his home in New York City and was in a coma. I, re- I kind of remember that day when I turned on the news that one of the greatest legends had been taken down and overtaken by the elements within his body, that he had had a stroke. And I remember that the news was saying he had had a stroke and is in a coma for nearly 2 months. For 2 months, he, for nearly 2 months, he was in a coma. That he had had a stroke and was in that coma, just like us around the world. I began to pray and intercede for him. I started fasting for him, praying that he would recover. So he had had the severe stroke and was in a coma for 2 months, nearly 2 months. The stroke affected his ability to speak and to sing and required him to use a wheelchair. The stroke was so bad that he couldn't speak or sing. His physical abilities had brought him to a place where he was in a wheelchair. And even though that he had come out of the coma and was confined to a wheelchair, I was still praying and interceding for him, just like everybody all around the world. Because Luther was not just a legendary singer, a great singer, but to so many, he was a hero. He became many people's hero. And it broke the hearts of those around the world and in America. to see that they're falling to a situation that he had no, he was doing his best to get under control, and to see one of the greatest men of the legend that would hit a stage and give you one of the most amazing performances. Now, at a place where he has had a stroke and laying in a coma, caused a hush in the atmosphere, and prayers to go up. Luther later regained the ability to walk as well as speak and sing. At the 2004 Grammy, Vandross appeared in a pre-taped video segment to accept his Song of the Year award for Dance with My Father. I said he regained the ability to walk. He regained the ability to speak and sing. That's nothing but a God who is able to raise up his children. God did that. He touched him, he healed him to the point to where he was able to get out of the wheelchair and to walk and speak and sing. Nobody but God could have done that. At the 2004 Grammy Awards, Vandross appeared in a pre-taped video segment to accept his Song of the Year award for Dance with My Father. My God. While he was laying in that coma, while he was suffering from the affliction that had claimed his body, and he was at rest, I can only imagine that he was dancing with the Father. Come on, somebody. It wasn't his natural father, but it was the Heavenly Father he had time to spend, who raised him back up and brought him back to a place where he could walk and speak and sing. Oh, somebody ought to give God some praise for that. Yes, sir. Nobody but God. And so at the 2004 Grammy Awards, Vandross appeared in a pre-taped video segment to accept his Song of the Year for Dance with My Father, saying this quote, "When I say goodbye, it's never for long, because I believe in the power of love. End of the quote. The article said that Vandross, Luke Vandross sang the last six. Look at that. My God from glory. He sang those last six words. What a testimony to have. My God. And just in case you may not recognize those words that he gave in his acceptance, those are from his Power of Love, Love Power song. Let me quote it again. Quote, when I say goodbye, it's never for long because I believe in the power of love, end quote. His mother Mary accepted the award in person on his behalf. His last public appearance was on May 6, 2004 on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Vandross passed on July 1st. He had finally come to the end of his journey. And he had to stand on the banks of Jordan. And those that loved him, his family, his mother, his sisters, his brother, his fans, had watched him sail on by. God had called his name and punched his number, and he gave up the ghost and returned to him that had sent him here. The one that brought him and shared him with the world, his creator. Vandross passed on July 1st, 2005 at the JFK Medical Center in Edison, New York. Edison, New Jersey, excuse me, at the age of 54 from a heart attack. He had a heart attack. Vandross' funeral was held at Riverside Church in New York City on 8, 2005. Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, and Cissy Houston were among the speakers and singers at the service. Vandross was buried at George Washington Memorial Park. Luther Vandross was on a was an American R&B. I didn't want to end with the passing of Luther Vandross. So I went back and found a little bit more to share about him. Luther Vandross was an American R&B and soul singer, songwriter, and record producer. Over over his career, he achieved 11 consecutive RIAA certified platinum albums. He achieved 11 consecutive RIAA 11 certified platinum. That's something to be excited about. And sold over 25 million records worldwide. Yes. The delay, the delay. That's okay. So he sold over 25 million records worldwide. Luther Vandross was recognized by Rolling Stone as one of the 200 greatest singers of all time. In 2023, and was named one of the greatest R&B artists by Billboard's NPR. Also included him among its 50 great voices. He won 8 Grammy Awards, including Song of the Year in 2000, Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame, the Grammy Hall of Fame, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He also established himself as a sought after background vocalist. He was one of the that everybody wanted on their album to do background vocals, contributing to albums by Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Todd Rundgren, Evelyn Champagne King, Judy Collins, Shaka Khan, Bette Midler, Diana Ross, David Bowie, Ben E. King, Stevie Wonder, Laura Branigan, Donna Summers, Lisa Fisher, and Roxy Music. In 1980, he served as the lead vocalist for the Post Change on their gold certified album, The Glow of Love, which was released on Warner RFC's Records. Luther collaborated on several notable duets, including The Closer I Get to You with Beyonce, with Mariah Carey, and The Best Things in Life Are Free with Janet Jackson, and If This World Were Mine with Cheryl Lynn. I hope that this video part two of Luther Vandross, the man whose voice tells a story from the power of love. I pray that it's been informative for you, that you learned some things about Luther Vandross that you didn't know, and learn things that you already knew about him. Well, that's it. That's all that I have. We're going to get ready to take a break, and I'll be back once more again to end this video. I want to take the time now to thank everybody for coming into the nest and joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much as I take the time to honor and celebrate and remember the life of a legend, Luther Vandross. Thank you all. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in or as you go out. Take the time to like on High Channel 1, Eagles on High Channel 2, Fireside Chat with Eagles, and Purple Community Royal Priesthood. All right. Why don't you all just take a few moments to give a round of applause for this man, Luther Van. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in or as you go out. Joining me, we will be right back right after this 30 break. All right. Hold on, we're going to take another 30. All right. This is the Eagles' nest. Ah, my goodness. This is the Eagles' Nest podcast. My mind went blank that quick. But this is the Eagles' Nest podcast. I am host Minister A. Williams, aka Eagles on High. I want to thank all of you for coming and joining and sitting around the nest with me as we remember and honor and celebrate the life of this legend, the man who could tell a story with his voice from the power of love. He was an amazing gift to the world, and we thank God. I thank God for his music that still lives on even today. We appreciate the and how he shared his voice with us, his fans. And so we dedicate this video. We dedicate it to Luther Vandross, who left, but he's never forgotten. Because when you turn your radio on or pop the CD into your player, it's like he's still here. And so we sing to the legend, Luther Vandross, to rest in peace, as we take these moments to thank God and celebrate and honor him for his contribution to the world. I want to thank all of you for coming. Those of you that's catching this when it premieres, when it airs, thank you. I appreciate the support and the love. For those that's going to catch it in the replay, thank you. You're just as important as everybody else that catches it and when it premieres. So we're ready to go, and I'm going to let you go so that you can enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of my channels: Eagle Soaring High Channel 1, Eagle Soaring High Channel 2, Fireside Chat with Eagles, and Purple Community Royal Priesthood. Thank you all so much for joining me. I pray that if you have not seen the video on Whitney Houston, that you would go back and check that out. Check out the live that I did with my special guest, as we sat and had a conversation about the legend, the diva, and the voice, and the queen of the night, Whitney Houston. Check that out, and then come back and check out the Luther Vandross, as we take these moments and times and days to reflect and remember and honor and celebrate not only am I going to continue to do this, but I am also some of my favorite gospel singers. So you all can look forward to that as well. Well, I'm done. May God bless you. May God keep you. And may his love forever shine upon you. And until the next time, stay blessed and safe and in the Master's arms. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave in the comment section your favorite Luther Vandross song. Thank you for joining me on this podcast in remembering Luther Vandross, the man whose voice tells a story from the power of love, part 2. Be blessed and safe, and I will catch you in the next video. God bless you. Is my
Standing tall by faith, I watch my spirit grow, reaching for the lost souls wandering far below. God's holy breath, the sacred mighty gust, lifts me from the ashes, raises me from dust. Eagles soaring high, high up in the sky, flying straight and true, riding to victory. His promise is the power that makes the darkness flee. Eagles soaring high for all the world to see. by faith. I watch my spirit grow, reaching for the lost souls wandering far below. God's holy breath, the sacred mighty cup, lifts me from the ashes, raises me from dust. Eagles soar